White House says Hope Hicks immune from compelled congressional testimony. The White House is arguing that former aide Hope Hicks is absolutely. White House counsel Pat Cipollone sent a letter to House Judiciary Committee Chairman Gerald Nadler DNY. On the eve of Hicks, Ms. Because the committee, which is pursuing a sweeping investigation into alleged abuse of power by Trump, reached a deal with Hicks to submit to a closed-door interview on Wednesday pursuant to a subpoena. Democrats are eager to question Hicks, the former White House communications director and ex-Trump campaign aide, about the campaign's activities and the episodes of potential obstruction of justice by Trump that are detailed in special counsel Robert Mueller's report. Hicks was interviewed. The White House's efforts to limit her testimony are likely to infuriate Democrats who have accused Trump and his administration of going to unprecedented lengths to stonewall their investigations and oversight requests. Hicks will be accompanied by at least one White House lawyer, who is expected to raise any objections to questioning on Wednesday. Cipollone's letter cites various Office of Legal Counsel OLC opinions and arguing that Hicks is immune from compelled testimony about her work in the White House, including the one issued by the Justice Department in May that Trump cited when instructing former White House counsel Don McGahn not to testify before the committee pursuant to a subpoena. Cipollone also indicated that the White House may try to block Hicks from answering questions about her time on the presidential transition because of potential executive privilege concerns. Accordingly, a judiciary aide said Tuesday that the committee wants the White House to record any specific assertions of executive privilege during Hicks' interview on Wednesday. The White House has the faith. If Democrats are unsatisfied with Hicks' testimony on Wednesday, they could go to court to enforce the subpoena for her testimony and documents. The White House earlier this month instructed Hicks to not comply with the committee's demands for documents related to her time working in the administration. Hicks has provided
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.